Call the meeting to order at 7:02. Roll call. I'm here. Sandy's here. Judy, no. Casey, no. Nick is here. Liz, no. Susan and
Eric.
hey, Erica.
Hi,
How are you?
thank you.
Good to see you. All right, so we're done with roll call. Public comment, public questions. We have no public here, so I assume there's nothing, right? And we have no guests. So we are down to staff report.
Beth.
Yeah,
So just an update, as you know, our clerk is going to have a different school schedule. Hi, Liz. Hey.
ooh, Liz, good to see you. Hi, how are you?
And so it has been super hard to find clerks. And in the spirit of not losing her and having to go through that, I made a deal with her that I will unlock the door and run the equipment if she will do the minutes off of the recording. And so everybody is happy. I don't have to do the minutes and she can still be employed by us. So that will be a thing moving forward, at least for the next semester.
We'll get whatever we can, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I missed that. I did send out the walkthrough dates too. You certainly don't have to participate, but some people expressed an interest in it. Tomorrow I'm going to let him know what we have available so we can get that scheduled. I did hear from a couple of you, and I know he will be back other times, so don't feel any compelling need to do it unless you're interested, and we'll just include as many people as we can.
I did check, just for your information, I did check, and those, as far as I can see there, the only thing I have so far scheduled for January is not on that date, on any
Okay.
of those dates.
Perfect.
So I'm good. I would prefer not Friday afternoon, just in case I'm heading somewhere.
I just sent a thing back today. And just pick a time.
Okay.
Can you sort of remind us what it's about?
Yeah, so he's going to do a first walk through downtown and just sort of start making observations and pointing out for us things that we might not notice as people who walk and drive through the town all the time, or just things that maybe he's a little more discerning about as somebody who critiques Main Streets.
Okay.
And then they actually have a new product that they're demoing right now, and in the new year he'll come out officially and he'll do an entire write-up, which he will do annually as part of our fee, and we'll be able to sort of make a baseline this year and then see how we've improved going forward.
So it's a physical walk
Yeah,
down Main Street.
yeah. Yep.
I'll look at the dates again.
So it might be a little cold, but I didn't want to wait until the spring because that only leaves 3 months. So just we'll bundle up, we can survive.
We're tough.
Right. Okay. So just to, did everybody have a chance to review my report? Does anybody have any specific questions? I can go over it real quick, or we are working on an RFP to do a market research study on Mariners Way, sort of an update after 10 years. I think we need a fresh perspective. We need to figure out how to make that a more workable plan, or how to attract the kind of business that we can get, or that would be advantageous to the town, that won't necessarily compete with other things, but will enhance what we have. So we're hoping to get some more information and maybe help a domino fall over there and get something going. So we'll see. I don't know. Social media was really active this month. Starlight Festival got a lot of interest. As you know, the Starlight Festival was rained out partially. We did salvage what we could. People did come out for Santa. Face painting was a big hit. People did ride the trolley. So, I mean, we're having a recap meeting tomorrow to talk about what went right and what we can do different. I think it's worth sticking with, even though this year was not what we planned. The restaurants apparently did very well.
Well, that's
The
good to hear.
stores
Yeah.
not too well. You know, I guess people didn't want to walk around in the rain, but they were willing to go out and have a drink and get something to eat. So, and the trolley is very inexpensive for us as a municipality. And if people would ride it in the rain, I'm thinking they will definitely ride it when it's nice. And the route that we had was set up so that if we had a large crowd come into town, it would pick them up at parking areas that might be a little farther away. So if we did have more people come in, I think it would be convenient to move them and make them happy. So, I mean, I'm thinking that we should do it again. And you know,
What was the route this year?
so we started at Town Green, which was originally supposed to be the hub of activity in the afternoon. And then over at the Paper Bag Cafe Plaza was a stop. And then all the way up to the commuter bus stop near the apartments. And then back down to the Gargano Pasta parking area. And then the Community Connection Park right across here from Town Hall. And then we had them leap over to Goodwin School because since the library had their story walk, we were hoping to encourage people to also do that. And we thought it could be overflow parking if we had a lot of people. And then they came back and went to Town Hall. So that route seemed to work well for the driver. I talked to him about it. When he came up through Gargano, we had him come in the back way and then pop out on Main Street. So,
Coming off of Elm Street.
yeah,
How many people can the trolley seat?
I would say you could probably see at least 25 people. I did ride it and there was like 10 other people on it with me.
Really?
And
That's
there
great.
was a lot of space.
That is good.
Yeah.
Do we have an idea of how many people, the guesstimate, how many people attended the festival?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I can ask and see if other people had an idea, but I know that last year out on the Town Green, it was like a complete line for Santa the whole time. It definitely wasn't like that.
Okay.
But
I think getting any turnout on Saturday was.
yeah,
a bonus.
we did have kids come, and because youth and family couldn't get the money back for the face painter, that turned out to be a blessing because it was so popular. There was a line for that, and even kids who were afraid to go see Santa would get their face painted.
Nice.
It worked out good. You know, gave families something to do.
Yeah.
So one day I happened to see Bill Childress's door was open on Main Street. So I went in to say, you know, maybe the town would be really interested in that area by the paper bag because it would be such a great trolley stop. We could have, you know, a little building there.
Mhm.
And, you know, like what might he sell it to the town for? He said, the town can't afford it and he's not interested in selling it. So I guess I have to stop dreaming about that.
So he's just interested in
Was
renting
he
it.
smiling when he said that?
Probably. Oh, okay.
It is a nice central location.
Yeah, it is a great location.
But he knows that too, so.
Yeah. No, but people aren't stepping up to the plate, but anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, I think too, the restaurant thing was very successful this year. Had about 9 restaurants. We had a lot of help from John of Paradise over at Park and Rec and the owner of Penny Lane Pub, Alex.
Mhm.
He was super helpful in rallying the restaurants and so. I
Well, it's
think
good
that
to
should
see
be-
that they did do all right, you know,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
They offered entertainment as well, which would have been a draw for somebody who doesn't always, you know, have drinks before dinner or just go
Yeah.
out to a bar.
Yeah,
It's a real draw, I thought.
and we were hoping to attract, people maybe who didn't have young kids and, would just come down for shopping or go to the restaurant or something like that, so. Things to work on, but things that worked even with the rain, so that was good to know.
The Lions Club stars that they were selling, do they still have them? I mean, I was thinking, I'd like to get,
I'm sure they do.
They're-
They did not want to come with the rain, but yeah, I'm sure they do. I would talk to either Susan Esty
oh, okay.
or Sharon Tizzy. Either one of those can probably help you out.
Thank you.
But no more rain for any of our
I know.
festivals. We are rained out. We're done. Good to go. Any questions on the Starlight Festival?
I did have one question.
Yeah.
Because I was around for most of the afternoon and did they, after the lighting of the heroes tree, I did notice that there was some lighting on the green, but I didn't see a lot of lighting compared to last year. There were a lot more stars out, I thought, last year.
So there was only like 2 or 3 stars that didn't go out again because they got damaged.
Oh,
But maybe it's the configuration of them. Yeah. That's when I ran away from you at the hero tree. That was the
yeah, I lost you after that.
Yeah. I didn't want to forget. Yeah, but Dave and Sandy came and passed out candy canes at Santa.
Great.
With us, so.
I just showed up.
But I mean, I was talking with Susan before everybody got here and, Brett over the Cape does such a nice job with his outdoor lighting. And so we've been talking to him a little bit about what the options are so that maybe we could do something a little more professional and, permanent out here on the town green and possibly get a sponsor to help
Mhm.
pay for some of it. So.
Yeah, because it is a job. I mean, and I think, I don't know where I was, but I was coming into town. First night, the lights were on the median, and it looked beautiful. It really sparked up the town, And so, I think, the more lights we can do, I think the better.
And this is a beautiful Christmas tree out here,
Right.
and it should be well lit
Yeah.
instead of, a couple of strings.
If I remember correctly, last year, we made all those over at the Chevy dealership. We made all those
The stars.
stars. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a star at every one of those posts going down. And I didn't notice them this year. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
where they are.
So, I mean, I used every star we had. I don't know if there were other ones, but I know they didn't want to put them on the posts this year. There was a reason why, but I can't remember what it was. So, yeah.
But if they're not, if they're not gonna put them out, then maybe we can add them to the green next year.
Yeah, I don't know where.
So it would create more,
Yeah.
more light, yeah.
I'll try and
Yeah.
find out if there were more, and if so, what
Who's in
happened.
charge of that? The town?
The green?
Yeah, to put out the stars and do the posts on Main Street.
The post,
The
Is it the
post is the
garden
garden club.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
the town green was done by,
Public Works.
no, me. I did the gazebo with, Heather and Brittany from Youth and Family, and then Sal Oso from Oso, Electric, Majestic Electric.
Yeah.
He, came with his bucket truck and 2 of his guys, and they put all the stuff up in the tree. And he really only charged us half price, and he donates the rest of his time, so,
That was
We
Yeah.
did that
yeah.
last year as well.
yeah, yep. So. Yeah,
So is there a way to thank him, like a letter to the editor in the Harbor News that, like, thanks everyone and appreciates his donation?
yeah, I mean, I did put his name on some of the materials,
Uh-huh.
and obviously I thanked him in person, but yeah.
I mean, I wonder if we could have a thank you from the EDC. to say it was raining, but
Yeah.
the spirit of Saybrook was, I don't know, what was it? Great, wonderful,
Yeah.
Brighten with the lights.
right, right,
So,
right.
So a letter to the editor from EDC.
yeah. Are you okay with signing that, David?
Sure, sure.
Okay. And adding whatever you want.
Yeah, always, it's not a mistake to appreciate the volunteers.
Yeah.
People, it always comes back to benefit you.
All right, I can draft something up and I'll run it by you guys.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what else. The gingerbread house contest is not happening. We're fully approved through ARPA, went through the town meeting. I think some of you were there, so we're good to go with that.
That's awesome.
We have an account set up now and continue spending
How much money is in there for us?
$100,000.
Great.
And we have till 2026 to spend it. So.
Party.
Right.
That's right.
The grant update is pretty much the same. We're still waiting to hear on the community challenge. And I'm almost done with the 2020 street steep grant reimbursement. So hopefully we'll get that money back soon.
The community challenge, any feeling on that?
We should know
What our chances are?
this week or next. I mean, I did hear on a call I was on yesterday that there's $55 million and 40 people submitted $142 million worth of
Okay.
requests. And the other issue is that 50% of the funding goes to distressed communities. So that automatically cuts out our eligibility for half of it. So
Yeah.
I don't
It's such a
know.
good plan. I mean, it's
Mm.
really terrific how it came together.
I know. So, I mean, we can still vote, but
Yeah, right.
it might be a long shot. I don't know.
Who decides?
DECD, the Department of Economic and Community Development.
At the state level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I know, it would be great.
Mhm.
So,
We actually, at least we have an oar in the water there with.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
With Matt, please. So,
and, well, I'll get to that. Okay, that's about it. So unless anybody has.
still
any
no,
specific
no bites on the art hallway.
questions.
You said you had.
Do you have somebody who's
yeah,
still interested?
She just texted me today. And I don't remember, I got her the forms and I
Mhm.
don't remember what was on them. Her question to me was, does she need to submit what she wants to put up?
I think
in
she
the art
needs
hall.
to submit just like
There's a
some
form- you
pictures
sent
of
me
her
the
work.
forms.
Yeah, it says on there.
And I sent her, I got those to her and she said it would be a while because she was inundated, but,
I might try and get a school exhibit in there just for
Hmm.
the
she's thinking
interim
like-
and then try and line up for the rest of the year. And then at least it won't be bare.
Yeah.
she was talking like January, February, so
Oh, okay.
I don't know. As soon as I know anything, I'll try to get over there. Try to get over there this weekend and talk to her and I'll read the form to see what it does.
Yeah, I do think you have to provide, just a. like an
Demonstration of what
example.
she
Yeah,
does.
or even if she like had a website, something like that.
Well, she's on Facebook, so you can see a
Okay.
lot of her stuff on there.
Because, I mean, you guys approved them in the past, right? Or no?
Approved.
The applicants or?
Who did that?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't think there was a committee, but somebody oversaw it to make sure it was
Yeah.
appropriate.
Contact with Susie, you could ask.
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna run into Steve Cryan up at the Connecticut River Museum. He's I know fairly well. Great local artist, but, I'm wondering if he knows anybody that might, that he's run into and so forth, but I catch up with him up there a couple of times while he's got his train exhibit up there. So I'll see if I can get any interest from him.
The new pottery shop has really nice paintings.
Yeah, I've stopped by there a couple times, but I always seem to go at the wrong time. And I did try and see if Lisa Lidwood would do it, but she said it wasn't for her, so.
Yeah.
For her particular work. But we'll find something.
All right, regular business. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the November 10th meeting. Give you a couple of minutes to look it over. I'll accept the motion to approve. Make motion to approve. Thanks, Nick. Second. Second, Susie. Any more comments? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain. I wasn't there.
Okay,
I'll abstain. I wasn't here either.
okay, where were you guys?
All right.
All right, you got those on?
Yep.
All right,
So I wasn't here either. I apologize. I said I was going to come. I got going with something and I was going to be too late and there was no person, it was too late to call. So, but I thought we have talked about that you can vote in favor of minutes if you read them or if you don't have any questions about them, even if you weren't there.
I did happen to watch it on Zoom. Does that make me qualify?
I think so.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
I think it's more a personal choice.
Yeah.
I just abstained because I wasn't here. That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
But if you,
Then I can vote.
okay, you.
Man.
Yeah.
All right,
I voted for it because I think we're supposed to be able to do that. So
Okay.
if we're not, you'll have to take out my vote. But
We're covered.
anyway, I did read the minutes.
okay. Thank you all for caring. Jennifer, do we have any correspondence or announcements?
Nope.
Great. We'll go to old business. Starlight Festival recap. I don't know if we have any, we had a few comments under the executive director's report. Is there any other comments? No? Okay. Well, as previously spoken. ARPA application update. I think we talked about that too, didn't we?
Mhm.
So, other than approval and now being able to start spending money, I think we're good to go.
Mhm.
question on that.
Mhm.
Do we have a plan? Because I know it can be audited to spend.
So, I mean, I thought that our plan would be to get some of the feedback from Connecticut Main Street Center. And then also, once we finish the RFP and get our marketing stuff squared away, that we would start allocating the money through those two avenues, unless people have other ideas, but.
Well, I think I think it's our plan to hire to become a member of the Main Street program. What was it? $750 or $1,000, I think, that's one expense there. I think I think we want to punch in some of this, get some ideas from them on what we need to do, what they think will be a best bang for the buck. I think a lot of it might be in marketing itself, either it's advertising. I also like the idea of looking at this trolley to bring in from time to time, maybe we highlight, a Friday or a Saturday in the summer to encourage, to have that run to encourage and maybe, and I think it was Carol that talked about tapping into the summer marinas and try and use that trolley to bring those, they're basically captivated people. I mean,
Right,
they,
right.
they don't, for most of the time, they may have being one of them in the past number of years, may have a bicycle on board, but for the most part, they're captivated, So, to incorporate some of those things in that, and,
I thought what we were looking for was money to help us make our marketing efforts more sustainable and repeatable, so that we had a process in place. That was, and I'll be honest, I missed a couple of meetings, so I could be way off base. I didn't think it was, for the use of a trolley. Well, I like the trolley idea. I thought that was separate when we were looking at the project. That's why I'm wondering if we have a plan for spending the money.
Wasn't the trolley, I thought, was in, there was a couple pages of different ideas, and the
Right.
trolley was in one of those paragraphs. It was
Right.
one of the bullet points. I don't know if it was tied in with something else. I can look on my computer. I didn't know if that made the final cut either. I thought there was a couple others that we were concentrating on. I'm not sure if the trolley had made that final cut, but I
I'd have
did
to go
see
back.
and I'm not saying that we do it on a daily
I'd have to look
basis,
at the
something like that, but
proposal we put together, because I think we have to kind of follow what we said we were going to do.
Right, and so, and the proposal is, you're correct, to improve our marketing, make it sustainable, make it more inclusive, so that we're including the business community. So, at some point, we might want to do some focus groups with them. And also, do we want to, depending on what Main Street Center says, and depending on what our marketing company recommends, do we want to do some kind of branding for the town or for the downtown? Yeah, those big picture ideas, I think that, will help catalyze some growth and sustainability down there. That is what we wrote in their thing. But I think first, if we pick the marketing firm, then they can come in and they can do like a workshop with us, and we can start to really formalize that stuff.
I know part of the plan of conservation and development, the economic development part, talks about becoming more strategically aligned with the chamber. And that would help us get all the events in one spot, as opposed to having the chamber having events and this club having events. Certainly need to get it to one hub.
Yeah. And I mean, already just from working on the Starlight Festival, a lot of the businesses on Main Street, I don't know if I talked about this the last time, but there's a group of, I think, 6 or 8 women-owned businesses on Main Street right now, and they've already started to band together. They have like this really nice little artist-made piece where they're promoting each other. They organized a little gift basket giveaway where you found an elf during the Starlight Festival. So already on a grassroots level, there's a group of people down there working together. And I think when Dave and I met with Main Street, they talked about having somebody who would be a champion for Main Street and start to try and identify people who we could use to help with that. And I do think there's that kind of energy down there. So
There is, and one of those people is Alex from Penny Lane,
yeah,
because I know he works with SIP, Gargano,
Yeah,
Bongo Ron's. So there are synergies happening,
yes.
you know, Libs and Gargano have teamed up on Wednesday nights, so.
Oh. And that's really encouraging because I think, you know, like Andy at the paint shop led it for so long and I think they just got kind of worn down.
Yeah.
And didn't see the energy there anymore. So it's terrific that it's.
Yeah, it's come back with these new businesses and some new blood.
Because I think also like it's too much for us to just do and it's really key that the businesses themselves are really engaged.
Oh, absolutely. We just need to be the conduit to provide the information
Yeah.
out to the masses.
Right.
They need to do the work.
Yeah.
But I think knowing that they have the support of the town,
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
would make a big
I
difference.
think that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
So I am really heartened to see how much energy there is
Mhm.
down there. And I think if we really start, you know, harnessing that.
Right.
we can move, so.
I mean, I did read in the staff report from last time, you're behind the business idea. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I think also remembering the ARPA funds that didn't we do it general enough so that there is some flexibility to
I think
develop
so.
initiatives over the 4-year period, so
Yes.
we didn't have to be totally locked in.
Yeah, yeah. And I do think this first year, there might be more planning
Yes.
than action, but I think that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay to grow.
And going back to the trolley idea, because I do like the idea, and I know Clinton does it during the summer, and their sponsors pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, could we do it on Saturdays? I mean, like, so that people could count on it, that like every Saturday from this date to that date, the trolley will be running.
Good idea.
it's a great idea.
So, to follow that idea, could you find out like what it would involve? I mean, what it would cost to have them on every Saturday from,
It's $75 an hour. That
and how many
includes the
hours?
driver and gas.
Yeah, okay, so like 11 to 4, would that be would that be a good time, something like that? 5 hours every Saturday?
And you'd want it to start now or waiting for the summer?
Yeah, for the
Memorial Day?
summer, yeah.
Would you want to do past 4 so that you get the dinner people in the restaurants?
That's what I was thinking. I would go a little bit later.
Okay,
If you're talking about taking the marina people,
yeah,
I would keep them running a little later if you can.
they could
And I
get to
don't
the restaurant, they just couldn't get back.
Right.
And what about us?
Seal them
even
up with an Uber.
Yeah, that's right, we've got the Uber service.
Could we have sponsors on this trolley that help pay for,
Yes, definitely.
like Clinton does?
We already talked
Yeah.
about that.
I think Primo's Realtor would like to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
You can have, cards on the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bus cards.
They would- The people that we rent it from would allow us to do that.
So if we had it like, say, the end of June till the end of August, would that be enough time or the beginning?
Sounds like
It's
a good
it's a good
start.
first run.
Yeah.
I think, if it works out, you'd want to extend it Memorial Day almost to Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so,
I can talk to them and see, if there's availability for Saturdays, if we wanted to do that. And
And if they give us a break on the rate, if we go a little bit longer,
right, exactly,
and guarantee them the slots.
yeah.
we already get a big break as a municipality, so.
Oh, okay.
They, like most people, I think, have to pay $200 an hour. We pay 75.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure I can get better than that, but.
Yeah. I mean, it is reasonable because it is the cost of the trolley, and if we make the loop a little bit bigger, a little bit longer time would be a big deal. Maybe everybody would chip in, then he wouldn't have to run his bus on Saturdays.
Mhm.
It was super cute too. I mean, it's like actually a real trolley.
Yeah.
And it was even decorated inside and I
Oh,
was
nice.
like, oh, you decorated it for us? And And they said, oh, well, actually it ran in East Lyme the weekend before and they had decorated it. We just left it up. I was like, okay. Because I had thought about that. Should I bring garland or something? But it's all gone. Yeah. So it's nice. It was fun.
Would there be a fee for people who use the trolley, or is it just a perk in Old Saybrook?
I don't think that the driver is set up to collect money. I think, you know, you have to pay for it in advance too.
Oh,
I had to
okay.
pay for it.
Yeah.
in advance, so.
Plus, that's the feature that we're looking for with the sponsorship, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We actually were gonna cancel it when we heard about the rain. But in order to cancel it and get any money back, we had to do it sooner than we wanted to make the decision. And so then we were like, yeah, let's just run it.
But if people used it.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I'm glad we did, so.
Right. That's why I think it's a good idea.
Oh, it is. It's an
Yeah,
excellent
yeah,
idea,
because,
yeah.
It gives people, even if we're doing it in the summer and it's bad weather, they're gonna run it.
Right.
Yes.
They're gonna ride it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so,
The trolley in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, we've been riding since our daughter, who's now 36, was like a baby, right?
Mhm.
And that trolley runs every summer and people are always riding it. I'll check and find out what they charge, because I remember we used to pay like $1 for it, but, you know, just as a break with a kid to just like, oh, let's get on the
Yeah.
trolley.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take a long ride
Yeah.
around.
Absolutely.
They have like a little special seat up in the front too, and I noticed one little girl was up there and she thought that was great. And she sits right next to the driver. She sits right in the windshield, so.
And maybe we can give the driver a little bit of historical information
Yeah.
on their route, so they
Yeah.
can sort of enlighten
Yeah.
people as
Yeah,
they're
that'd
driving
be
by.
great.
I tried to get the carolers to ride around on the trolley and sing in the rain, but they were not interested.
That was a great
They said,
idea.
we'll see you next year when it's not raining. I said, all right.
all right.
Thank you.
So let me see now, where are we now?
Main Street update.
Main Street update?
So I paid the fee. I'll tell
Yeah.
Carl tomorrow, you know, what we're good for and have him send me a final date and then in time and so we'll meet with him in early January for our first thing and get that rolling.
I think between them and the marketing folks, we should be able to come up with something good for a sustainable
Yeah,
process.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, like you say, it's gonna be building. I mean,
Yes.
try 4 things and maybe 2 of them
yeah.
stick, you know, and then we try a few more things and eventually we'll build a program that's sustainable.
Exactly.
Okay, budget.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, I brought the budget. We talked briefly about, we weren't 100% sure we were getting the ARPA money at that time, but we did talk briefly about whether or not, considering we're getting that on top of our regular budget, did we need to add in any of the categories this year? And, if anybody has any last comments, anybody thinks sticking with the status quo at this point is not feasible?
I just have a question,
Yeah,
and it's because the year gets split. So what we're looking to budget is FY '23 and FY '24.
yeah. Well, no, we're in fiscal year 23 right now. It's for fiscal year 24 that we're looking at right now.
Starting July 1st of 2023.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Okay, so you're looking at this FY '24 starts July 1st,
Yeah,
2023.
yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
I always get confused with that.
I know it is confusing. Not having, gone through a whole cycle, and I did look at the numbers. I mean, I didn't see any glaring things that looked like, oh boy, we really went over on this several years, we should bump it up. And with the extra $100,000, we're gonna have a much bigger marketing budget than we've had, which is really the area where you can spend the most.
Mhm.
So unless anybody has any other feelings. I thought that this looked okay.
I agree.
Shall we entertain a motion to approve, recommend that, this budget?
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any more comments? If not, all in favor?
I
Opposed? Abstain?
just need to
Unanimous.
work on getting the director's salary doubled. That's all.
All those in favor?
Okay, next item, and I know that Jennifer has submitted some additions and some changes and updated the time frame and the timeline on the request for proposal. You did have a couple of questions from comments before. Oh, the question of Saybrook Point Marina.
Susan had sent me some changes and I incorporated those, and then I incorporated the new timeline. And then I did add a little under the scope of work. And one of the questions Susan asked me, which I highlighted in blue here, was how were these particular businesses that were highlighted chosen? And to be honest, I cherry picked them out of something else that the commission had written about. So I'm not wedded to them. They were some of the bigger companies in town. And but we don't have to use them, or we could use different ones, or if you guys like these businesses.
I just was curious. as
Yeah.
to Why they were chosen. So
But
it's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
not familiar with any but the Saybrook Point.
So Tantor Media is an audiobook company,
Are they still here?
as far as I know.
Okay.
From You Flowers is one of those, you go online and you see 20 different arrangements, and you can order it and it gets delivered to wherever you want to. And I don't know what iTerm Therapeutics does, to be honest with you.
My thought would be, one that I would add is Saybrook Home. That's a pretty big operation here, and it's a corner piece and, I'm not sure who I still, none of those real other besides that and Saybrook Point jump out to me as something that would be, people would recognize immediately about Saybrook, Maybe I'm missing something here. Just, I don't know the industrial park that well,
Right, and I guess that including some of those other things that even though they're not, something we notice when we drive around downtown, are behind the scenes employers and manufacturers. Like From You Flowers, for example, made a lot of donations to the Saybrook Cares. They were one of the major donors for that.
Are they still at the Sabre, are they still at the train station? Sabre Junction? I used to be down there in the corner. Oh, okay.
Terrible. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And there's a manufacturer, and I'd have to look back at my notes from not our past last month or 2 months ago, Economic Recognition Awards, but the one before that, it's a manufacturer, was
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. WEI.
Yeah. That I'm not that familiar with, but I think it's a reasonable sized manufacturer, and I'd like to at least see a manufacturer in there,
And who is this?
It's
I think it's WEI.
WEI Manufacturing Industries or something.
Okay.
I know Tantor, because I listen to a lot of audiobooks, they're very well known. The only reason I asked about them being here is when I was looking for space for that marketing company,
Yep,
the industrial space out on past Mystic Market, they advertised that it used to be an audio studio.
Hmm.
That's why I was wondering, but I just looked on the web and it says they're located in Old Saybrook, but,
yeah, because I recently looked something up and
okay.
I hope they aren't gone. Yeah, I should investigate that.
So if those are still all right, I would just,
I mean, there's that stencilese too, and we had, they're actually highlighted on the economic development website because they utilized,
Didn't they go like all solar? stuff
yeah,
on-
and they used some kind of special, incentive thing. I think it was related to, environmental stuff that we offered. I can't remember. I'll look at
the DECD prints out an economic development sheet on each town in the state. And I don't happen to have them, but I mean, they're readily available. They list like the top 5 or 6 employers.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
why don't we just take a quick look at
Okay.
that to see if there's someone that we're missing. But, I'd like to at least say yes with Saybrook Point, yes with Saybrook Home, and any of the others here, you folks are for at least one manufacturer.
The only thing with that, actually that report that you're talking about is I think what it will put at the top is like Stop and Shop and
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
Because they do have the most
Yeah.
employment. And here I would suggest that we highlight the businesses that are unique to Old Saybrook.
Based in Old
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm not.
yeah.
No, I'm not suggesting that we use those, but there's
Yeah.
usually sprinkled in there 1 or 2 manufacturers and top tenders.
All right, I'll do a little more research.
Any,
Would it be conducive to expand it to small businesses in the sense of carpenters and plumbers that have been in Old Saybrook for a long time, not necessarily the storefront or manufacturing people? I think, only because we just had a leak in the roof. Saybrook roofers, they've been around for eons. I don't know. Is this not the forum for that, the platform?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, that's worthwhile. I mean, if we can think of a way to do it, because I think about like, it's such a challenge to find people to help you out, you know?
Anybody know the roofer?
yeah,
Maybe
no,
not
because-
there,
but
but
because every town is gonna have a
Business.
yeah,
Right.
roofer, that's the problem.
I-
That we're touting something that every other town has, every other town has a plumber, an electrician and a roofer,
But I didn't know maybe being Saybrook based.
yeah.
I think,
Well, this is, I mean, they're not necessarily gonna highlight these places.
right,
I think we're just giving them information on what the town's makeup is.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I was,
Right.
I want to get in that manufacturer of some sort,
right.
No,
So
when they start
people
doing.
do know we have an industrial park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them about that,
Should it be
but this is
twenty-five
CRP, so
thousand
this is just.
annually to this budget for each of the next 4 years?
Oh, that's a good idea. And we don't have to allocate it that way, but I just,
Yeah, no, that's a
yeah.
good way.
yeah.
And to whom is this RFP going to go?
So, well, I am still doing research on that, to be honest with you. I mean, Sierra Lane definitely wants to be solicited.
If
and-
there are existing?
Yes, and I would like to also solicit Miranda Creative. I don't know if any of you have heard of them. They're out of Norwich. But she's Maria Miranda, who runs that agency, is very well known, and I've actually heard her speak twice in the last few months. And I think they are a great firm with just sort of really good vision and good energy.
Great.
So I would like to add them to the list.
Mhm.
And then I know it's here. I've actually been soliciting some other colleagues to see if they had some recommendations from the area, and I haven't heard back from everybody yet. One person suggested because I'm also looking for places that might have some municipal experience, like Miranda Creative, for example, has done the Connecticut Grown branding campaign, and they also did something for the state. So even if they haven't worked for a town, I think they understand the kind of things that we're doing. And then somebody else recommended a place called Quinn and Harry. They're out of London, though. They're a little farther from us, but they have worked for Mystic Coast and Country and the City of New London. So I don't know if we want to consider somebody like that. I mean, it would be nice to have someone kind of local, but let's see. And then I'm waiting to hear back on a couple other people. I did have another recommendation that somebody gave me, but she doesn't even have a website. And
Yeah,
so I don't know about how I feel about
maybe in a
that.
few years. that should-
Yeah.
that's when they're up and running.
I think I'd be leery of a marketing company that doesn't have a
Yeah.
website.
Yeah. So anyway, but if anybody has any ideas, like I said, I'm still trying to put together a list, and I think it would be good to at least submit to 4, maybe even 5
Oh, yeah,
places.
exactly.
That'd be good.
And then go from there.
And-
Any other comments
and
on the
you're
RFP?
comfortable with the timeframe that you revised your,
Well, it's the same timetable that we had set out before, just
push
Right.
back 2 months or?
so, yeah, I mean, it gives people a good
Because all we
6
have to
weeks
do really,
respond, and
all
then
we
it gives
have-
us a month to interview.
all we have to do really is to get a couple more of the firms that we want to include
Yeah.
in the solicitation list, and then we're ready to go, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, as long as
Everything else
everybody's okay with
falls
it.
into place, yeah.
So are you going to tell them what kind of budget we have to work with and just say like, what can you do for us in this budget? Or are you going to want them just to follow up with whatever you put in the RFP to?
Well, they're gonna get this RFP,
The RFP has.
and the RFP has a
number.
budget in it.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want Cronin and Company coming in.
I don't know them.
Oh,
Are they a big deal?
yeah, well, yeah, when I was running around in the regional tourism districts, I sat on a couple of committees where we selected the marketing firm for the state tourism department. You know, so I've seen a lot of these guys, you know, and you know, some of them are huge, you know, Cronin and Company being one, and a couple others, and I can't remember their names because I'm old. But they were up in Farmington. They had, you know, all these historic buildings that all connected together. And they had about a half a mile of the Route 10 frontage.
You know, the other thing is, we could ask Connecticut Main Street, they have tons of.
Yeah, that's a good
different
idea.
vendors,
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
maybe I'll ask Carl
Yeah.
Rosa, to make some recommendations too.
And we
Because that's
could
one of the
ask, yeah.
services they provide.
And you could ask him to kind of focus in on geographical, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want someone up in Torrington, perhaps, you know.
Right, yeah, no, I will.
It's a different world up there.
I know, it's funny about.
They don't
this
even have any beach
small-
there.
It's a small state, but there's such different identities in different places.
All right, any other comments on the
Nope.
RFP draft? No? Good to go, all right. We're not doing anything right now with advisory groups. We have one big advisory group so far. New business. We have a handout on the potential meeting dates.
Mhm.
You want to suggest that I might not be here on March 9th? The Big East tournament, and I missed it last year because of, and I'm sure that, well, I shouldn't say that for sure, but the UConn men are looking unbelievable right now.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, they're ranked 5th in the country. And so I think they'll definitely get through Thursday night in Madison Square Garden.
Did you want to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a little reception before here that Jennifer and I were at talking, and Carl said, you know, Dave, you ought to think about moving your meeting earlier. He says, I've done all of this with, like moving it to 6:30. And he says it's not a big deal change, but it gets people out earlier for those who, especially who party on Thursday nights.
Yeah,
So that's a suggestion. I don't know how people feel about that. But
it works for me.
yeah, he said several of his committees, and actually, I don't know, Sandy and Liz, but we used to meet at 7:30 at night.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Till about a year and a half
Yeah.
or 2 years ago, we moved it to 7, And we
Yeah.
probably should have taken a big step and moved it to 6:30 then, but
I don't think so, because, I guess I just, speaking personally, I mean, with preserve meetings, sometimes I can't go to them because I work till like 6:30 or something like that.
oh,
And they meet at 6, and I think that's like not a
Yeah.
great time for
Yeah.
people, but. And then other times I don't have to work that particular day till late in the day, so I guess I feel like it's a problem to gear it so much to people who are or either not working or working locally,
Hmm.
and that 7 o'clock makes it more possible. For me
So
personally, but
7 for you, 6:30 for me.
Either works.
Either works for me.
Jennifer, what about you?
I don't get a vote.
You don't get a vote, you do have an opinion.
I mean, I'm okay with either. I mean, 6:30 gets me home a little earlier to see my kids, but it's
Yep.
okay either way.
I'd go with 6:30 preferably, but I could I've been doing 7 for a few years.
All right, I heard 6:30.
I could do 6:30 or 7, but 6:30 is preferable.
I guess we can bring our supper with us.
Okay, so we'll say 6:30.
All right,
Everybody,
I'm okay with that.
all right,
okay.
Okay.
we'll give it a try.
Cover this.
Yeah, let's give it a try and see how it
We'll
works.
try.
And if it's a real burden to you, then we'll consider going back.
Okay, that's nice. of you.
I think that's right.
I believe we do have to vote.
On the date, and, okay,
I know we didn't plan it.
all right,
Make a motion to
make-
approve the calendar and the change time.
oh, okay. Thank you. So we're gonna approve the 2023 meeting schedule and the movement of the time start to second Thursday at 6:30.
At 6:30.
Okay, is that the motion by Nick?
Yes.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
One abstain. A trooper.
A
Stick with it,
neutral-
stick
a
with
neutral
it.
Stance, you know?
Stick with it, Liz. All right. So that's it, right? We have nothing else on the agenda?
Yeah, actually, I did want to, I mentioned in my report, but I forgot to talk about it. So it said, the comprehensive economic development strategy that the River Cog has been working on. I don't know if any of you were able to participate in the community forum that they had here, but they did put out a report of some of those findings and then their recommendations, and it's a draft that is in a couple weeks going to be finalized and then hopefully move forward so that we have more federal funding. If anybody is interested in seeing that report, I can email it to you. The importance of it is that when the report is finalized and submitted, we need to have in it a broad enough framework to be accepting of the kinds of projects we might want to do in the town. And also to, if there are specific projects, have them listed in there, because otherwise you're not eligible. So I'm working with Chris Costa, our town planner, on making sure that any of our projects will make it in there. But if you'd like to look at the report yourself and see if you think the categories encompass the kinds of things that we've been talking about, or if anything's missing, I can forward that to you, and if you give me your comments, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we participated in
I know
that.
Dave and I were
Yeah.
on the call.
Yeah, we were on the call.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we just
you
got
could-
the report
Yeah,
yesterday.
if you could send it out.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send that out to everybody, and if you have comments, just let me know.
All right. Other than that, under comments from the chair, I just thank you all for serving and wishing you a happy holidays, and we'll see you come next year.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thanks. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
second. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.